In the spring of 2021, a man named Richard Bowser, residing on Percy Street in Bishop Auckland, was sentenced to 18 months in jail. This followed his involvement in a police pursuit while driving a powerful sports car under the influence of drugs. Bowser was driving his 550 horsepower Bentley Continental GT on Sunday, May 23rd, after consuming a large amount of cocaine. He was wanted by the police on suspicion of assault when officers spotted him driving towards Tow Law on the A68. Upon noticing the police presence, Bowser recklessly crossed into the opposite lane to overtake traffic and fled from the scene at high speed. During the pursuit, which spanned between Tow Law and Willington, Bowser reached speeds of up to 130 miles per hour. He engaged in numerous dangerous maneuvers, weaving past traffic and pedestrians at alarming speeds, posing a significant risk to public safety. Check out the police dashcam footage.
Thank you. Heading in the general direction of Willington still on the back road. Speeds up to 90 miles an hour. I'm going to go medium risks into the 30s. I'm going to stay at medium risk for the 30s, just he's on the wrong side of the bend. Approaching the T-junction, stand by. It's left, left, left towards Willington, down to low risk. Medium risk for the overtake oncoming vehicle, back down to low risk, up to medium risk for near side pedestrians, offside pedestrians, back down to low risk into the heading out of Willington. Yes, go ahead, Elliot. Sorry, mate.
Crash.
Yeah, Elliot, to crash with one of our traffic cars. It's going to be a decamp here, Elliot, I think.
He's doing something. Tell him where we are.
Yeah, he's gone left into the industrial estate. He's got substantial damage to his vehicle. He's struggling to keep control of it. Approaching the roundabout, he's right down on his speed now, Elliot, to 30 miles an hour. He's got substantial damage. He's gone right into the industrial estate. This is going to be a decamp, Elliot. Can we start getting units here?
The pursuing officer kicks off the chase by setting the tone for the remainder of the manhunt. He remains calm and wastes no time delivering a play-by-play of the criminal's actions. He provides his dispatch with the Bentley's speeds and locations, while also providing a second-by-second account for the risk involved with every single action the criminal car takes. This type of communication is the standard for police chases in the United Kingdom. Officers are asked to constantly analyze the risk both they and the public are dealing with when met with an ongoing threat, such as a high-speed chase involving someone under the influence. You can hear as they pursue the Bentley, the commanding officer goes back and forth between low-risk and medium-risk call signs. Much of this is dependent on their target's proximity to other drivers and people standing close to the road. In the middle of the pursuit, the officer's dashcam manages to record the Bentley crash into the front end of another police cruiser as it rounds the bend. However, the criminal driver refuses to stop immediately after and continues charging down the street despite incurring serious damage to the Bentley. Eventually, the criminal's car does slow down, and the pursuing officers are all over what's coming next. One mentions their hunch that the criminal is preparing for a decamp, or in other words, abandoning their vehicle to run away on foot. The other officer agrees, certain the slowdown/speed up maneuver is a sign that the criminal is up to something. From here, the officers continue their pursuit, chasing the Bentley into the industrial sector of town. They report to their command center that the suspect's vehicle is breaking down and that they've noticed a marginal loss of control by the driver. They give chase a little longer before the camera feed switches to a body cam. At this point, it's all but clear what's happening in the chase. As they report to the command center the amount of damage the Bentley has sustained, one of the men requests backup units. If this incident spills into a foot chase, they're going to need all the help they can get. The pursuing officer's theory then comes true just as he repeats this information to dispatch. Right as he suggests a decampment is about to occur, the two officers jump from their car as the driver of the Bentley abandons his vehicle and does his best to outrun the cops. Of course, not to anyone's surprise, the man who was high as a kite on cocaine doesn't get very far. The pursuing officers easily run down Bowser on foot, and it's the end of the road for his Continental crusade. Days after the high-speed chase, authorities published a press release to highlight exactly what happened before, during, and after the incident. According to the report, between Tow Law and Willington, Richard Bowser reached speeds of up to 130 miles per hour and performed several risky maneuvers, weaving through traffic and pedestrians at alarming speeds. During the pursuit, one officer observed a young girl looking on in horror as Bowser's Bentley sped past her. Despite attempts to evade capture, Bowser's reckless driving eventually led to a dramatic collision. As he exited Willington, Bowser tried to negotiate a sharp bend at 90 miles per hour, but lost control, mounting the curb and crashing into a stationary police car positioned at the junction with Oak Avenue. A police volunteer photographer captured the moment just before the impact, showing all 4 of the Bentley's wheels leaving the ground. Despite the significant damage sustained by both vehicles, Bowser's Bentley continued for another half-mile, scattering debris along the road, before finally coming to a stop at Low Willington Industrial Estate. Attempting to escape, Bowser fled across a nearby field, but was swiftly apprehended by police, who administered a breath test and drug screening, both of which he failed. Subsequently, Bowser, aged 44, faced multiple charges including dangerous driving, failing to stop, and assault. At Durham Crown Court, he was convicted of dangerous driving, drunk driving, and drug driving, receiving an 18-month prison sentence, a 45-month driving disqualification, and a £156 victim surcharge. Inspector Ian Leach of the Roads Policing Unit condemned Bowser's actions, highlighting the potential catastrophic consequences of his reckless behavior. He emphasized that driving safely requires more than just a high-performance vehicle and expressed relief that no fatalities occurred despite the severity of the incident. Bowser's Bentley, rendered unusable in the pursuit, was also added to the consequences he must face. The report concluded by stating the 44-year-old must pass an extended driving test before regaining his driving privileges. You might be wondering, this incident occurred 3 years ago. Surely Bowser served his time, passed his new driving tests, and ended up starting a crime-free lifestyle, right? Wrong. Just earlier this year, Bowser graduated from driving recklessly in a cocaine car chase to being arrested for attempted murder. In January of 2024, Bowser, now aged 46 and residing in Worcester Place, received a significant prison sentence of 19 years, with an additional 4 years on extended license at Teesside Crown Court. This ruling came as a consequence of an alarming incident that unfolded at the Tan Hill Public House in July 2023. The incident occurred on the evening of July 21st in Richmond, North Yorkshire, where Bowser had arrived with a relative to stay overnight in a camping pod. The pub was bustling with activity, featuring a live band performance that evening. However, Bowser's actions turned the atmosphere into one of fear and distress for those present. Trouble began around 10:15 p.m. when Bowser, visibly agitated, struggled to make payment at the bar, escalating into verbal abuse towards staff. Despite attempts to calm him down, he became increasingly aggressive, ultimately resorting to physical violence against staff and other customers. This included slapping and shoving Nicola Townsend, the manager of the bar in question. All she had done was attempt to verbally calm Bowser after his credit card declined, which sent him into a fit of frustration. When the aggression started, 2 patrons named Ryan Lockwood and Carl Pearson were physically assaulted as well when they tried to assist the manager in soothing Bowser. After being pushed out of the bar area, Bowser retrieved a firearm from his camping pod and proceeded to threaten a man named Lee Jackson outside, who had approached his pod seconds earlier to inquire about the commotion. Bowser aimed the gun directly at Jackson's head, pulling the trigger multiple times, though the gun thankfully jammed and failed to discharge. Jackson then fled the scene, finding the closest guest room at the inn to hide within. Bowser, taken over by rage, followed him closely behind. When he reached the locked guest room, he fired shots through a door, prompting the victim to call the police for urgent assistance after he was struck in the arm by a bullet. Bowser's menacing behavior continued as he discharged the firearm into the air before being arrested by officers, who utilized a taser during the apprehension. He was charged with attempted murder and remanded in custody until his trial at Teesside Crown Court. Naughton condemned Bowser's actions as appalling, noting the traumatic impact on the victim and witnesses, as well as the broader community. She praised the prompt actions of the pub staff in ensuring the safety of patrons and aiding the police investigations. Following the trial, Bowser was convicted of wounding with intent and possession of firearms with intent to endanger life. He had previously pleaded guilty to assault and actual bodily harm. Although found not guilty of attempted murder charges, Bowser awaits sentencing at a later date, underscoring the severity of his actions and the necessity for justice to prevail.